How's it going, folks? Something a little bit different. I'm out at a mate's place, a new friend. He's helped us out a bit. Thought I'd come out and help him clean out a bed. And yeah, I'll give you a look at that in a tick. But we're just in his fish room, and I thought I'd give you a bit of a look at his aquaponics system. It is a little bit larger than we have. It's not a commercial one. It was set up originally as a commercial one. The farm went bust, as a lot of small commercial farms do. And yeah, Allan picked it up, and he's just working it as a farm for himself and family, and basically wanting to live the chemical-free life, as many of us do, and trying to grow as naturally as possible. So it's not going to be a real in-depth look at the technology behind it and all that sort of thing. I'll give you a bit of a quick look at the tank room in here and the fish he has on the go, a little bit of a look at the filtration system, and then finish off in the greenhouse. So I'll get this camera off my ugly mug, spin it around and give you a bit of a look at the tanks and the fish. So this is the fish room. We have 5,000 litre tanks, and as Allan was just telling me, they're only half full, mainly as a bit of a security measure so the fish don't jump out. And yeah, all the water heights are adjustable. They're a semi-cone bottom, and all the effluent comes out the bottom and then goes out to a solid settler that we'll have a look at outside. As for stocking rates, nowhere near a commercial stocking rate. What he's got in most of the tanks are a mix of silver perch and the Tandanus catfish, and he has a couple of large jades and some small jades. So yeah, not heavily stocked at all. Definitely a couple of years worth of fish in here. Some rather nice large silvers in there, and the catfish, some nice catfish. There's one just there. That's what our Tandanus will grow into. And over here, it's a little bit darker in these corners, but you get the idea. Definitely a couple of fish a week can come out of these systems. These guys are obviously a little bit smaller than the last one, so they are graded to a point. And over in this tank over here, a bit hard to see, but we have the large jades. And there were some very friendly catfish in here before when I was walking through. And over in this tank are the smaller jades. These are the ones that we got our couple of fish from. And just over here, a couple of smaller hospital tanks, and all the pump work and small filter there. And the blowers and compressors are all over on this side over here. So a nice tidy little system. And also too, we have the little watchful eye of the owl up there, just keeping an eye on everything. But yeah, definitely set up to be a small commercial system. It's just not being utilised as such because there's really no need for it to be so at the moment. But it's definitely giving Allan and the family some tasty fish. Just a quick point about the shed as well. It was set up as a proper insulated, fully insulated shed. And Allan was saying that it was designed so they could replicate this again behind me here. And eventually they wanted to run 4 greenhouses, the same size as you're about to see from this one shed. So all the water from the fish tank inside there travels underground into a double baffled settling tank. So Allan's just been kind enough to take the top off the settler for me, and what it is just the baffle, the old school baffle settler. So a cone base tank where the solids collect in the base, baffle in the middle, it slows the water down underneath it, and then comes through to another side. More solids settle out on this side because the water is moving slowly, and then we have a final takeoff that runs out underground into the next set of filtration, which is a fine solid / bio, and the outlet for the solids down the bottom is just here. And yeah, it's just a matter of turning the valve and then the solids come out whenever it's time for a clean. So that is generally used on different places around the patch as well. There's no offline mineralisation in this system. From there, the water then comes down into a little bit of a Metallifilter filter box. Works as a double biofilter as well as a fine solids filter because there is a load of surface area in there. So Allan was kind enough to open up the filter for us just to give you a bit of a look. As you can see, 2 separate sections, a load of air at the inlet. And then we're going through 8 stages of the Metallifilter. And at the end there, yes, there are a few solids. Allan's already kicked himself up the arse for that. So we know that needs to be cleaned out. But yeah, just give you a bit of a look inside here. And then also too, he was saying he needs to do a bit of a clean on that as well. And from there, the water just comes down into a sump tank. And from there, the water is split, like most systems, into the hydroponic side, which we'll look at in a tick, and then over on into the fish room itself. So just in the greenhouse here, folks, and just to give you a bit of an idea, down one wall, we have roughly 400 to 500 litre media beds, just with the clay media down there. One large single flood and DWC bed, but when they made it, yeah, they are pretty much all stuffed up, and they used a elastic to join the sections, which wasn't what was requested. Something like a Sikaflex would have been a lot better, and Allan's tried to repair it over the top, but it just hasn't taken. So rather than risk it being a fail point, he's just using it, as you can see, as a bit of a nursery area. Down this side we have flood and drain, but a lot of these are offline. As you saw, the fish capacity isn't fully stocked, so there's no point trying to grow a whole heap of plants if you haven't got the nutrients going into the system. What I was out here doing this morning was just giving Allan a bit of a hand to clean all the roots out of this bed here. Just a couple of years of tomato growth in here, and you can see what's happened. A lot of the roots have attached themselves to the clay balls, so we got probably 90% off. So this bed's all cleaned up. These media beds, they're all set up as just a constant flow. So the water comes in one end and leaves out a standpipe at the other, and that standpipe just regulates your height in the bed itself, as you probably already know. There's a couple of beds to clean out. That's the next one. I don't know if I'm coming out to help him with that one. We'll wait and see. He's got the Heliophis caterpillars in here, the same as what we've got at home. So yeah, it's going to be a bit of an uphill battle trying to get rid of them. But once he cleans out a lot of these plants, it will make life a lot easier. Just an old tomato. And then we have some newer tomatoes. These are the pink Thai. This is what we got growing in the bucket on the veranda at home, and the hydro bucket. And yeah, they're doing okay. There's a couple of fruit on there. Just a couple of ornamentals and other bits and pieces. This little plant here is a tree. It's called sweet root or licorice, and it's just in here with some ornamentals. I'm not too sure what they are. Hippeastrum, some celery and some mushroom herb. The next bed has the Thai ginger or galangal, one of my favourite spices to cook with. I just really love the Thai food, and in front of it we have some Thai basil and some more mushroom herb. Allan's also decided to harvest the small clump from around the back there, and he's going to just shake out the clay and start dividing that up and start popping it into small pots, and yeah, that'll be ready to go to the markets, or he can use it to plant out more beds. And down the back we have the gingers. This one here's already been picked at a little bit. Just over here is where Allan pulled a plant out the other day, and he sent me a couple of photos. How much was it? 1.4 kilo grown from a small section of rhizome. I think 100 gram rhizome you were starting them with?
Around about 100,
yeah.
40 gram rhizome.
Yep, so a nice big head start, having a lot of rhizome in the ground there, or in the clay. And he has loads here. And over the back here we have, what, 2 beds? Yep. Another huge looking harvest that will be coming out of here as well. Loads of ginger. And of course the strawberries. Now Allan was saying he's a bit like myself, not too fond on the strawberries because you get a crop for a little while and then yeah, nothing for a couple of months. But this one here has exploded on down to the ground, so loads of runners there. Might have to pinch some off of you one day.
Go for it, mate.
And down here we have a couple of those deep water culture beds and some dragon fruit babies. But yeah, just not enough nutrients to just run the whole system, so they've just been sidelined for a while. Then we've got the floating rafts, and as you can see, quite popular for the kitchen. These are the green onions. Just to let you know, because due to the lockdown, Allan hasn't been able to go and set up his stall at the local market, so there is a fair bit of stuff here that has just been let go, as you can understand. But obviously, they're having a crack at eating a lot of them. Just in this next bed, floating raft, we have some chocolate mint. Allan said he had a really nice variety of peppermint in here, but this plant has just taken over. And then we have a really nice spearmint. We actually were lucky enough to get some cuttings of this, or cuttings, root sections, to take home to root for ourselves. These beds here, after the media beds are done, Allan said he's going to take these guys out and refurbish them and plant them out with some more greens and bits and pieces for the markets. And over here, just another floating raft bed, more onion greens, some more spearmint, yeah, I think that's a spearmint, some more chocolate mint, and every now and then some of the mushroom herb we gave them a while back, and some more green onions. So there's a bit of a look at the root system on these plants. Very healthy, very clean. So the filter does an absolutely awesome job at keeping all the solids out. Might just rest that there, Alan, and I'll fix it up in a minute. Cheers, mate.
Yeah, these guys actually go back in when you start twisting them.
Ah, gotcha. There's a knack to it.
Yeah, and this one wants cutting off anyway. See, I'll just cut that off,
Yeah,
split that into 3 or 4, put them in pots.
and away they go. So as you can see, folks, it's not really a commercial farm as such, but Alan's definitely eating a load out of here. And the idea is, once the virus shutdown finishes, a load of these greens and bits and pieces will be going to the markets, because you've got to pay the bills somehow, don't you? And yeah, hopefully, if Alan's generous enough, we might be able to come out in a couple of months' time and do a bit of a look and see what's going on. Probably better off at the end of or midway through next ginger season, so it won't be anytime soon, folks. So I do hope you've enjoyed this bit of a look at a slightly larger aquaponic system than my own. It can get a bit boring checking out the same small system all the time. I would like to thank you all for coming along and sussing out the clips. It'd be fantastic if you could give them a thumbs up and share them around with your family and friends. And also need to thank those awesome folks supporting us on the Farm Your Own Yard page and the YouTube membership program. Thank you very much for the support, folks. But I will pretty much leave it there. Hope your aquaponics are booming and your gardens are growing great, and I'll catch you next time. Cheers, folks.